walkthrough video to encourage you about what you can do with this mini wallet album that we started last week. I have a few things left to do, and that's to decorate my cover. And I already have double-sided adhesive on my pages, and I'll just add a little bit of glue. But I'm still planning this a little bit. I sort of trying to do it with a half pack of paper, because that's what some of you only received, a half pack. And I'm making 2 albums out of it, so I'm trying to be conservative. And I think I'm just going to have a simple cover. I just haven't determined the orientation. But that's what's left to do. Then, of course, to put pictures in it. So we start with our basic cover. I will be putting decorations on the side of the boxes. And when you lift it up, you come to a vertical waterfall. I have a magnet here. You can sort of hear it. I have a magnet, and I just kept it very simple. I have the 4 by 6, 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 mats, and I used strips of paper. I actually decorated this part a little later because I wanted to have small pieces of paper left over. But they're all 6 1/4 high, and the width varies from 1 3/8 to 1.5 inches, depending on my cutting. That's room for 1, 4, 2, 3, about 6 or 8 pictures. Then on the first page, again, is room for a 4 by 6 picture. You also could add journaling by adding decoration. This flap is also magneted. Magneted, I don't think that's a word. Held down with magnets. And you can open it up and you start seeing how I tried to coordinate the colors with wider pieces here because the space is bigger. And my photo mats. I did put a little strip. It could just be black in between. You don't have to put paper in all these little spots, but if you have it, I think it looks nice. Okay, now this opens up upward, and again, all I did was use mats and little strips of paper, all 6 1/4 wide. And that's why you run out of paper a little bit. If it was 6 inches, we'd have lots more strips from our 7 pieces of paper we used. Now this is my favorite look. The whole thing put together in the center. And I'm not sure if I'm going to put a picture here. I haven't decided yet. But right now it's holding my center box together. And it's a large photo mat. So it could be a big picture, or it could be a 4 by 6 in either orientation. But this paper holds it together in those little triangle pockets. When you open up the triangle pockets, these aren't decorated yet, but I made a couple of very basic tags, and I want to put some twine or thin linen inside the holes and let it hang without being too thick. But you can add journaling here on the back. You can add a photo. You can make accents. It's whatever you please. Now I'm starting to get low, and I did this on both sides. And as you can see, the back of the pocket isn't even fully covered. But because we used black cardstock, I think it looks okay. And you can put smaller things or additional things in those pockets. Now my favorite part is where I ran out of paper. And that is my inside pocket. And so I took strips of paper that were left over, and I did have 1 piece of white polka dots, and I split that up, and then I just put some strips and glued it, and it made, I think, a lovely center. So even when you don't have a whole lot of paper, this album is easy to make. So I'll just close up my pages. Put that down. There's no magnet there, it's just sitting. Here I do have a magnet. I want to keep the shape of the box. and my main magnets were on this page, so that that box shape would be maintained all the time. So that's one completed album. I'll be teaching you with the Blue Skies paper, but since some of you got this pretty paper that was leftovers, I wanted to make sure you saw how it could look. And I'll put individual pages on my blog. So this paper was called Live Beautifully. It's a very old, retired paper, and I was surprised that I had a little bit in my stash. So that's all for today.